I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji Guys. Fuji Guys have a great first look video on our brand new XF1 model. Today we're showing you basically a new model that is part of the X series, but a very, very stylish design. Billy, same sensor, same processor as our famous X10, that compact camera. This one, though, with no hot shoe and a lot of the bulky kind of parts of the design of the camera make this much sleeker, but picture quality and everything basically the same as the X10.
That's correct. It does have a new lens as well, an f1.8 lens, so it's a little faster than the X10. However, due to the compact size and structure of the lens at full zoom, which is a 4x zoom, it's not as fast
Yeah,
as
it's
the...
a 4.9 on the high-end telephoto side.
That's
but
right.
As you mentioned, on the wide-angle side, you got this beautiful Fujinon 1.8 wide-angle lens with a larger sensor. Of course, this is a 2/3 inside sensor, and that great processing with the EXR processor and the EXR mode on the camera. Should be a top performer from an image quality size, as well as the compactness of this one.
So it's compact and it's stylish, and that's what this camera's all about.
And very, very good looking. Now, Billy's going to take you through this version, which is a kind of a brown version of this camera. It's also available in a black treatment, and the picture we're showing you up here in the corner right now is also, there's a red version of this one. So really it will be available, not necessarily at every retailer in all three colors, but we are making them in three colors.
Very
They're
stylish.
all very, very good looking. So Billy, being a first look video, take us through the front, the back, the top, the sides, and show us what this one's got.
Sure, I got the brown looking one here. Again, it has a nice feel to that. Looking at the front of the camera, of course, you have the AF assist lamp still. Below the lens, again, you have the left and right stereo speakers. It does record full HD video with stereo sound. And then, of course, you have the lens module here. Right now, it's on the lock position, so the camera is completely turned off. It does utilize as a manual zoom, just like the X10, and it's very unique in this type of category. Basically, you take it from the lock position to the basically standby position, at which point now it becomes sort of like the X10. So from the standby, you bring it to the 25mm point. There's on the lens itself, they do show you the 35mm equivalent focal length here from 25 to 100 millimeters.
4 times.
Okay, as you can see here. So that's the look at the lens itself. And zooming, like I said, is manually. And again,
very smooth too.
And again, it gives you a nice precision zoom over sort of electronic zoom that sort of jumps between steps.
Yeah, so benefits of that, of course, it is more, we call it precision, because you can quickly get from one end to the next. There's no noise when you're shooting movies to hear that power zoom or whatnot.
Yeah, it's much more smoother, right?
Much
And
smoother,
of course, battery life is improved as well because you're not using a motor
Right.
to zoom in and out. Now, looking at the one of the sides of the camera, of course, you have just a clean look right there, just maybe a little screw there. On the opposite location, you have the little tab there for your camera strap. And of course, you have the dual cover here for your HDMI or mini HDMI connector, so you can play back your videos and photos in HD. There's also a USB connection, which also doubles as a audio video connection, which is more of a composite video, and that goes to that port right there. Now, taking a look at the top of the camera. On the top, you have the mode dial. Basically, you have your full manual controls. You have your EXR auto mode. You also have an advanced mode that allows you to do things like a panoramic. There's also new color effects on this camera, so you can do things like a toy camera look to it, miniaturization effects. So this is something that's new that's added to the XF1. In addition to that, of course, you got your custom 1, 2, and your full manual control, so you can adjust both aperture and shutter speeds. And generally on a compact camera like this, you don't really see full aperture and shutter controls. And that's, again, very unique with the X series and with the XF1.
Very clean looking though, that's what I noticed.
It is, very, very sleek. To the right of it, of course, you got the shutter release button. There's also a function button, and that function button allows you to access either, by default, the ISO controls, but by holding down the function button for a few seconds, you can reconfigure it to any of the other quick options, whether you want to set up it to do things like, high-speed shooting mode or whatnot. Or exposure compensations, yeah. You got a flash. It's kind of hidden flush with the body. It's manually popped out with a button here, so you just slide it and it pops open. So that means the flash is on. To turn off the flash, you push down, and now the flash is actually suppressed. So that's a simple way of doing that. Taking a look at the bottom of this camera, again, you got the battery door cover, and that reveals, of course, the lithium battery. It uses an NP50 battery, just like the
same as the
X10.
X10, yeah.
You also have the memory slot, and it accepts both SD, SDHCs as well as XCs cards. You got a speaker there, so it plays back your audio, and of course you got your standard tripod mount. It is a metal
yeah.
tripod mount, which is nice to have always. And of course now taking a look actually now at the back of the camera, you have a nice 3-inch display. It's a similar display to the F770 HS30 camera. It uses a 460,000 pixel. Very, very clear, and I find that the colors are actually pretty accurate in terms of, you know, it's not over vivid, you know, it doesn't have that high color to it, so it gives you more of a real life look.
Right.
Looking at the buttons and controls, you got your playback button, you got your record button that starts HD video recording right away. So just by pushing it, you can start recording, and during the recording process, you can also push the shutter button on top to take photos without any interruptions to the video itself. I'm just going to stop that recording. You got the display back button. You still got your standard command dial. Again, so it allows you to adjust the shutter speeds here, and the top command dial here allows you to adjust your apertures. And if you notice the new menu system, it is unique in that it does show you and quickly shows you the aperture displays as if you're rotating that dial, or if you're actually looking on the barrel of the lens itself.
And that's important for a camera like this one that does not have an optical viewfinder. You're always using the LCD to frame your shot, so having that shooting information, it's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's nice graphically designed. XF1 probably is the latest, you know, menu system that we've gotten that actually gives you a nicer look. In addition to that, we have this new button called the E function button. I kind of like it. You push the button, and it gives you access to different options via these same command dials. So you can, instead of using the macro or flash, these buttons now act as ISO, white balance, dynamic range, even continuous shooting.
That's great. Now that's really particularly important because we're trying to keep this camera nice and clean. Not a lot of buttons on it, not a second set of buttons. So adding a complete second set of functions is great. Now Billy, can you customize that? Like what if my favorite thing is to have the ISO up here in that corner just because it's easier for me to
Absolutely,
do that?
Greg, and that's one of the criteria we wanted Tokyo to do, and they've actually done that, is go into the menu, you can actually adjust the buttons itself so that you don't have to use the default settings. So, you know, you already have an ISO control, say, in the function. You may not want that to be ISO. You may want that to be a different button and that you want to access
totally
quickly.
customizable. You have a completely secondary set of functions with that menu. That's amazing.
So again, okay, just so you got the command dial, like I said, you control the shutter speeds, the aperture on top right there. The display button toggles through the different displays, of course. You do have a customized displays, just like the X10, so you can have the, you know, the grid lines as well as the, you know, the histogram, live histogram display. In addition to that, last thing, of course, is on top. There's a little LED light. That's the similar light that tells you that it's either charging the internal batteries of the flash or it's writing to the memory card. So that's just a quick little look around the brand new XF1 camera, Greg.
Great. Well, thanks, Billy. Yeah, again, I think in general this camera is going to be pretty much the same image quality as X10, which everyone loves, but you know, quite a bit smaller than an X10, and probably in this class of camera with this size of sensor, one of the smallest cameras out there. Very, very well made metal body.
Yes.
So it's really, if you want to take the best compact camera you can buy and put it in your pocket, then the XF1 looks like that's going to fit that bill, really. Okay, that's a great first look. We'll have another video on this one a little bit later on. Until then, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our other videos, and follow this guy on Twitter. So until then, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji Guys.